Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast where Wednesdays just got a hell of a lot more interesting. It's Lost to the Midcard. We are back. We were on assignment, and then technology was on assignment. So, unfortunately, we've been off the last 2 weeks, but we are back. We got a lot to talk about. We are going to briefly, I say briefly because it happened a couple weeks ago, but we'll briefly talk about our thoughts on SummerSlam and Takeover weekend for the WWE. We are literally, as we record on the 20th of August, 11 days from All Out. It is getting close, people. We will talk about the road to All Out, and as well as being the Elite, and also some of the latest news from AEW. A lot of news coming out of AEW as well. But first, thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. All you got to do is search for Lost in the Midcard. Hit that subscribe button. That way you know every time a new episode comes your way, typically every Wednesday. But sometimes we come at you at a different day, so it's always good to subscribe and know when a new episode hits your ears. You can also subscribe to us on Spotify or YouTube. The links to everything are on our Facebook page, facebook.com/LostInTheMidcard. Also on our Twitter at LITMC Podcast. We have those in our pinned tweets and posts. And also on the Twitter, give us a follow as we share a lot of the great tweets from the wrestling world. I am your host, Jeremy Bennett. You can find me on the Twitter at JBHuskers. As always, my co-host, he is on the Twitter at RawFShowtime. It is Mr. Matt Black. Matt, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
Matt did this Vince McMahon spiel just before I hit record. And God damn it! I wish I was recording that just to throw that out for you guys. But
I mean, I could try it again, but I don't know if it would have the same magic if it just randomly popped into my head like it did.
Yeah. It's just like WWE. It's never good when it's scripted, right?
Yeah, it was totally not scripted. It literally just, I don't know why it popped in my head, but it did, and it was basically just a rip-off. If you remember the Vince McMahon promo from going into No Way Out, when he brought in the NWO, it was basically just a spoof off of that, with Vince looking to kill Triple H's creation of NXT with his terrible booking. It was good shit. It was good shit, pal.
I've got some sunshine to blow up your ass that hopefully is the contrary of Vince ruining NXT, but I mean, at least at first he's not going to ruin NXT. But yeah,
we'll hope.
Give it time. As always, my other co-host, he's on the Twitter at No One Like D, Mr. Daryl Bullock. Daryl, how you doing?
I can be better, but I'm here.
You here?
I'm here.
You here for the beer? The beer bat. What?
Beer.
What? Oh, I thought Alexa was talking. I was like, why did not say? Don't start with me.
You just said her name, you jobber.
No. Well, it didn't trigger, so because I gave her the point. I gave her the finger. I gave her the.
Oh, that just fixes everything.
Yeah, she knew not to speak up there. Well, we heard this on Monday, and we were expecting to hear it on Monday night officially, but it kind of didn't happen until about 8 o'clock this morning, as WWE Public Relations breaks the news that NXT is moving to the USA Network September 18th, about 4 weeks from now, starting at 8, 7 Central. It's going to be live, 2 hours, live from Full Sail University. Something I've been asking for a very long time on this podcast. If you're a long-time listener, I've been asking for 2 hours, and I've been asking for live from Full Sail. We are going to get that with the USA Network. Those worrying about the WWE Network, NXT will still be have a home there. It will, just like Hulu, it'll be available the next day. And I believe NXT. I believe the network's going to run it live on their live channels at its usual time, but on Thursdays instead of Wednesdays now. Gentlemen, huge news as clearly something else is starting up on Wednesday nights pretty soon, isn't it, Matt?
I never thought in a million years in 2019 we would be talking about the dawn of the Wednesday Night Wars.
No shit.
Never saw this coming. It's kind of insanity. Yet here we are.
It's like at least we're a little more technologically advanced than we were in the late 90s, so we can easily have AEW on our TV and NXT on our laptops. So that's.
And I don't even think honest to God, dude. My opinion at this rate is I will be DVRing NXT and I'll be watching AEW live.
Yeah,
I'll watch NXT when AEW's over.
Yeah, I maybe I'll have a side eye on it on October 2nd, maybe just to see what they do.
And I won't even be able to do that.
No.
Me and Daryl gonna be live, baby.
Yeah. Wow, yeah, that's true. Well, you could have it on your phone. You just better have a good unlimited plan.
Yeah, dude, but you know how bad the streaming TV apps are.
Yeah,
and especially in a building with thousands of people all using, cellular data. It would be a nightmare trying to pull that off.
Yeah, even Wi-Fi, like when we go to the Husker basketball games,
trash.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi is
it's utter trash.
Daryl, what are your thoughts on this legendary news for the NXT brand?
I'm happy as long as dumbass don't fuck it up.
Yeah, my sunshine to blow up your asses is the fact that it's staying at Full Sail. So we know Vince ain't going to Full Sail every Wednesday.
That doesn't mean he can't call in.
Yeah, that's true.
And to say here's my biggest fear of a 2-hour NXT broadcast. I don't know if they have enough talent on their roster to fill a 2-hour show every week.
Well, just like Raw and SmackDown under Bischoff and Heyman, they got to build some new stars like they have with Cedric Alexander and Buddy Murphy as of late. Ali, a couple of weeks, even before those guys took their positions, Ali was getting built as a star. NXT is going to have to start doing that, and they sure as hell need to revamp that tag division.
Desperately.
They need to bring the Ascension back and bring them back to their old form in NXT. That's one thing I think they could do. There are some spoilers regarding the tag situation. I don't know if we'll get into that later. I did not read all of the spoilers from NXT tapings, but
that's honestly really the only spoiler that mattered as far as what I read. I read the entire thing, and that's really the only out of the entire show. That's the only thing that honestly stood out to me that I can even remember today after reading them last week is that. And honestly, if you watched Raw Monday night with the Street Profits, they kind of gave the spoiler away already.
And if you've been watching
which
Raw,
didn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense to me.
And if you've been watching Raw the whole past month, it's almost inevitable with them being on every week. So and Heyman loves them. So. Word is Heyman loves Cedric Alexander as well, and you can see it in these recent developments on Raw and then SmackDown. Buddy Murphy, he 2 weeks in a row, man. Buddy Murphy put on a good match, so it was
star of the blue brand.
It is the Poppy guy. He got a chant, man. Let's go, Buddy. And it's what killed WCW. So obviously Bischoff is learning from those mistakes. You got to build new stars, and that was something WWE hadn't been doing in the past year. We were getting the same old shit even with the brand split. Then the wild card rule came and made it even worse. So there you go. So officially September 18th. So that's 2 weeks before AEW starts. So the USA Network gets themselves a little bit of a
head start.
A head start, and also a replacement for SmackDown, which is going to be leaving the air a couple weeks later. Yeah.
Did you hear the real story about why they ended up on USA over Fox?
No, I have not.
All right. Well, of course, the internet wanted to start bullshit. What else is new? I'm so fucking surprised.
No way.
Saying that Fox was upset with WWE for giving NXT to USA, which I'm here to tell you is inaccurate.
I think Fox will be just okay. They'll be fine.
The reason why NXT isn't going to FS1 is because FS1 has a contract with the NCAA to air college basketball games on Wednesday nights.
Yeah.
So WWE obviously did not want to preempt NXT for college basketball.
And they did not want to get settled on a tape delay or something when you got AEW running
exactly. So USA gave them the spot. It had nothing to do with them fucking over Fox at the last minute or Fox being upset with WWE or any of this bullshit that the internet wants to to ruffle up and make sense of it. Yeah. But it's getting ridiculous.
I like I said, on paper and probably the beginning of this venture, it's going to be business as usual. Vince probably, but I mean, Vince wasn't at Raw this week. But he called in, yeah. So
yeah,
maybe that's gonna be. I mean, that's gonna be a lot of Vince late with XFL ramping up. Team names are getting released, I think, this week sometime.
So excited!
6 months. I mean, we're only 6 months away, so it is coming upon us. So Vince will be a busy man outside of the WWE. So
no one's more excited for the XFL than Daryl.
Shit.
You hear the excitement in his voice over there? He's so fucking hyped.
Yeah.
He's so fucking hyped.
I remember
he doesn't just get hyped; he stays hyped.
I stay hyped.
Thanks, Mojo. I remember watching.
He's not on TV. I figured I could steal his gimmick.
Yeah, he's running around backstage chasing that 24/7 title.
Nobody's been chasing that title since Elias won it.
Yeah, I know. That's because he's got old Shane in his pocket.
It's not nearly as fun when people aren't chasing.
True. But I did like John Cone in disguise tonight. That was kind of fun.
I know. I enjoyed the segment. I like the wackiness that title provides, and it's entertaining. It's kind of been the entertaining value has kind of been taken away with Elias the title. When they easily could just give it to somebody else and keep the entertainment factor going.
The great thing about this is, though, nobody's ever going to have a long title reign with that belt, so that's going to end pretty soon. So. That's the good thing about the 24/7 title. Got R-Truth, a 12-time champion already or something?
something ridiculous.
There are some more stuff with the USA Network and NXT. There are no changes to the TakeOver events. Those will remain exclusive to the WWE Network. And as I said, a 24-hour tape delay for video on demand on the WWE Network. So... for those that have the network for NXT, you still will get that the next day. Just basically, just like how Hulu works. And of course, everybody, past, present, and future of the NXT, took to Twitter. Won't read all those tweets, but I'm gonna just read one, and that's from the man himself, Triple H. Can't describe this announcement any other word than proud. Proud of everyone involved from day one. Proud you've let your voice be heard and carried the banner of this brand. Proud you've loudly and clearly said we are NXT. I am proud to say we are just getting started. Chris Jericho had a comment and goes, congrats to NXT for making the big move to USA. Runners always race faster when somebody's right behind them. Gonna be fun watching the team, seeing which team the world decides to join. Then later on, he said he had tweeted out that he deserves a thank you for NXT going to USA. Could somebody just thank Jericho?
Thanks, Jericho.
There you go. As you may have, if you've been following AEW, the 9th and the 16th, Boston and Philly, those sold out pretty damn quick. Insane. No surprise, but
and I'm sure Pittsburgh and West Virginia won't be far behind.
I was wondering why this week's Being the Elite was called Country Roads. And then finally,
It was corny as hell, man, but it still made me smirk a bit.
It was corny.
So
it was definitely corny. Locally advertised for the first SmackDown on Fox on October 4th. God, what a week for pro wrestling is that going to be with NXT on the 2nd, seeing what they do, AEW, and then SmackDown debuting on Fox. You know that ain't gonna be a boring show. Locally advertised is Kofi Kingston versus Dolph Ziggler versus Randy Orton. Obviously, the card is subject to change. Those that are expected to be on hand for the event, according to Staples Center's Twitter account, Brock Lesnar, who is expected to be a major part of the SmackDown brand once they go to Fox. Kurt Angle, Lita.
Honestly, I don't believe that at all.
You think he'll be bouncing back both shows?
I can't understand why you would put Paul Heyman in charge of a brand and not allow him to have Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, I guess.
So I find it. Look, and if Brock is truly going to be a big part of the SmackDown brand, that means Heyman has to work both Raw and SmackDown every week.
Maybe
they're not going to split him and Brock up.
Well, maybe that's what Heyman wants, and he doesn't want to do the creative for him and Brock, and wants to put it in the hands of Bischoff. Obviously, he'll have input, but maybe he doesn't want to be that hands-on with himself on TV. You know what I mean? That's just a thought. And who would win in a fight between Brock Lesnar and John Bones Jones?
I told everybody when it was first teased, Jones would knock his ass out.
I hope this happens. It was gaining steam on social media this week. So
Johnny Bones.
Other stars expected to be at SmackDown Live on October 4th. Lita, Kurt Angle, Mick Foley, Booker T, Hulk Hogan, Trish Stratus, Goldberg, Jerry Lawler, Mark Henry, Ric Flair, and Sting. And is The Fiend going to attack everybody I just mentioned? He's already attacked some of them.
I'm here for it.
The Fiend is amazing.
I think all of the internet rumors that WWE was going to tone down The Fiend, I think those rumors were greatly exaggerated.
I'm seeing people saying it reminds them when they were a kid and Kane debuted and they were legitimately scared shitless. You know, and they kind of have that same feeling about The Fiend, and we all saw what Kane brought to the table during his debut in early years. You know, they're doing a hell of a job with it right now. So,
I think they would be. I think they would be crazy not to. Don't fuck with what works.
Exactly.
And you don't need to overexpose them either. The way they're using them right now is perfect.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't really have like a solid plan for him at the moment, just have him
attack the legend,
causing havoc, and like it doesn't even have to be a legend. You know, the next time he attacks a main roster guy, you can turn that into a feud.
Yep.
You know, I feel like they're making the right call right now, and right now with The Fiend, you need to keep him special. He doesn't need to be in the ring every week, you know, working matches and shit.
Mm-mm.
So.
How fast?
So far, so good with The Fiend, man.
How fast do you push him to the title picture to take it from either Seth Rollins or
no way
or Kofi?
Not anytime soon.
Okay.
And if you're even thinking about that, I think you're looking way too far ahead of what this character can be. This character is big enough that it doesn't really need a championship. Mm-hmm. As long as it's used correctly. And the Undertaker in his hate, there's a reason why the Undertaker was only like a five-time WWE champion or something like that, 5 or 6 time, because the dude didn't need the title.
Yeah.
And if they use The Fiend correctly, he doesn't need the title either. They need to pick and choose how they use him long term.
This is a completely different situation, but it's almost like Roman Reigns right now. Keeping him away
Roman doesn't need a title.
Yeah, keeping him away from the title is keeping him getting the pops from the WWE universe, and you're still keeping him in great storylines. Except for the end of SmackDown was so fucking weird.
Oh, it was so bad, dude. The end of that match and that segment were just awful.
We all knew Shane was going to fuck it up, but
it was still. But they could have done a more creative way than that.
I figured he was going to go on the...
We just saw the fast count on Owens. Like, wasn't it last week they just did the fast count on him?
Yeah. Yep. And I figured...
Come on, guys.
I figured Shane would get on the Titantron during the match and say, I've thought about it, Kevin, and I'm going to double your fine, and then that distracts him, and Elias gets the win. I figured that's how it would go down.
Well, as soon as he did the official thing, I'm like, all right, well, I guess Drew McIntyre is going to be the referee in this match, which honestly would have been the better way to go, because somehow KO would still win, and they could do McIntyre and KO in the finals, but clearly they're not doing that. And since the fact that the two people on Raw last night called McIntyre to win the King of the Ring, that's pretty much the kiss of fucking death.
Yeah. I'm wondering now, as good as Booker T was as a heel as King, I think Elias is winning King of the Ring. He has not really. He's been jobbed a lot. Let's just say he's been on TV a lot, though, which is a good thing. He's got a lot of merch, so he's doing okay business-wise. But wins and losses-wise, he's getting the short end of the stick a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if it's him. I thought almost the guaranteed final would be Ali and Drew McIntyre. But now you
not a chance in hell.
But now you
There's
got Buddy.
No way Murphy's not losing to Ali, man.
Buddy Murphy and Andrade's on the rise. Obviously, I don't think he needs to win King of the Ring. Where I think Elias could benefit as King of the Ring winner. While I got the bracket up, let's we already know Cesaro Samoa Joe, which was a great fucking match.
I would love King Samoa Joe.
Yeah, King Joe would be cool. But I wonder if they're going babyface for them. They're not pulling the trigger yet, but they tested the waters with the Roman Reigns thing.
I just feel out of the people left in the tournament, I would like it to go to Samoa Joe as a heel. If you're gonna give it to a babyface, then give it to Ricochet.
Yeah.
But at the same token, the internet is begging you not to do this, and we might as well just start the hashtag right now. Hashtag anybody but Corbin. Like, legitimately, I don't give a fuck who wins this tournament.
Miz is going to get beat by him.
Yeah, exactly, because he's fighting the winner face of Cedric.
Yep.
So they're not going to do Cedric against Miz. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. So obviously Corbin's going to get past the first round. And I could see him going all the way to the semis against, like, Ricochet or something. But for the love of God, don't let him win.
I think we're getting Cedric beating Drew. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, Heyman's so high on Cedric. I'm kind of wondering. So it might be a Cedric Elias final where Elias wins. But
what you should do, dude? I don't even know if they're willing to do this. You do Cedric Alexander and Buddy Murphy in the final.
They would tear the shit out of it.
Because so many people haven't seen their 205 Live work.
Yeah.
So you let them have one of their 205 Live style matches as the finals of the King of the Ring. Oh, buddy.
Yeah. And
no pun intended.
I mean, and look ahead. Samoa Joe and Drew McIntyre is probably going to happen, and that's going to be good. Every match has been good so far, hasn't it? I've enjoyed every match
except for Elias and Kevin Owens.
Yeah, it was good to start, but then once Shane came out, and you're like, that was the worst booked match of everything. But Cedric and Sammy went for a fair amount of time. Samoa Joe and Cesaro just beat the fuck out of each other. Apollo and Andre got a ton of time. Good. Apollo and Andre got a lot of time tonight too. Apollo's starting to get finally. People are starting to care about him in the WWE universe during his matches, which is good.
I think they're going to move him to NXT come September.
I don't hate it.
I don't hate it either. I mean, he worked not this set of tapings, but he worked the last set of tapings. I think he fought Kushida, I think he did.
He did a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. So I mean, to me that's the right way to go.
And he got a massive pop from Full Sail when he came out too.
Yeah.
So
Full Sail remains their own, man.
Uh-huh.
They don't turn their back on them just because the main roster treats them badly. They remember how good they can be.
That's why I say bring the Ascension to NXT again. Because
they ain't fucking using them on the main roster, so
no, they haven't been relevant since the Fashion Files, and we're way past that now because we got Breeze and Fandango on NXT, which I absolutely love as well. When Fandango made the save, I loved it when he made the save and whooped the Forgotten Sons' asses. That was a pretty cool moment to see.
Yeah, new look Breezango looking pretty slick.
Yeah, like we take him seriously, Breezango. You know,
Yep.
I love it. But it's so funny. A week ago, I'm sitting there looking at the King of the Ring bracket. I'm like, oh, okay, Drew and Ali. And it's so funny how half of the first round matches are done now. And I'm like, I don't think that's how it's going to go.
Yeah, I definitely don't think so either.
God, Corbin. I cringe. King Corbin. Oh, I can see Vince fucking doing it. You can't, you guys?
I'm so scared.
I want no
I'm
parts.
so,
What's that,
I'm
Daryl?
so.
I want no parts of that shit.
But that's why Vince will do it, because we don't want any parts of that shit. So then he gets the heat.
Yeah, but dude, Vince, you have a company that's breathing up your ass, that's coming at you like a steaming locomotive. How about you stop pissing off your fans just because you get your fucking jollies off of it?
You said jollies.
I would honestly be happy with King Elias. I think it would work.
He's got to drop that 24/7 title first.
Oh, obviously. But and one thing we didn't mention yet, how funny was that Shelton Benjamin putting that sign up on the door of the locker room for Chad Gable?
What a dick move. Move.
That was fucking funny. Back to SmackDown on Fox, October 4th. It's going to be all hands on deck. I mean, it's not a surprise of that.
Yeah, nobody is shocked.
Including everybody that I saw or I mentioned, the legends. Also advertised from Staples Center, SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley. Roman Reigns against Samoa Joe. I doubt that's going to happen now. But you never know. New Day versus Randy Orton and Daniel Bryan and Rowan. So it's going to be I don't know. That's probably going to change to New Day and FTRKO. Isn't it just great? Isn't it great how that just fits? FTRKO now.
Oh boy.
Do you guys love that?
No.
I love.
No, not really.
Really? I'm digging it, man. I'm digging the pairing.
I think it's kind of lame.
I'm digging those guys. No, I meant those. I'm not talking about the name. I'm talking about the guys against the New Day right now in that feud. I'm digging that right now.
I don't think Randy Orton needs lackeys, and that's essentially what they are. Yeah. In 2019, Randy Orton doesn't need lackeys.
Well, 2009,
like he's way beyond that in his career.
Yeah. But yeah, card subject to change, which it looks like it's going to be based on that description.
Card always changes when I'm around, pal. I rewrite that shit at 6 o'clock at night.
That was last week's SmackDown, 2 hours before going live.
Fucking idiot that guy is.
All Elite Wrestling announced that the October 16th TV taping in Philly at Temple University is going to be the first ever AEW title defense. So whether it be Chris Jericho or Hangman Page that comes out the winner at All Out, they will have a title defense on October 16th in Philly. Updated lineups for the television tapings for the second, which is in DC, which Daryl and Matt are going to.
Damn right!
Jericho and Mystery Partners against the Bucks and Kenny Omega.
It's LAX at this point.
LAX? That'd be cool.
Yeah. Because they've already said their goodbyes to Impact. They're done. So, honestly, the biggest surprise would be if it was anybody but LAX.
And Kenny Omega, or I'm sorry, Cody Rhodes against Sammy Guevara, which will kick off the show, they announced. Boston, Bucks and Private Party in the tag team tournament for the first round.
I hate that that's a first round match.
Yeah.
That shit could be the fucking finals.
What I told you,
they're
though,
fucking
Matt,
doing that shit in the first round. It pisses me off.
What I told you, though, when this was announced, I go, well, this might be the Bucks' way to put over Private Party, and they might be winning this whole thing.
then why not let Private Party beat them in like the semis or something? Why do the Bucks have to eliminate themselves in the first fucking round?
To make it, that would be just that makes it that much more shocking that Private Party knocks them out in the first round. People are going to be like, oh my fucking God. They won't be that, they'll be shocked if they did it in the finals, but doing it in the first round, I think, has more impact. Pun intended.
Oh, Lord. You didn't just go there.
What do you think, Daryl?
He did.
Yeah, let's break the tie here. Do you love this first round match, or do you hate it?
I get both sides, but I preferably would have that as a later match.
Thank you.
Also,
It's just more exciting.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it has more of an impact if they knock him out in the first round.
I just feel like you're taking a lot of hype away from the tournament by eliminating the Young Bucks right out of the first round.
Pretty much.
And at the same token, let's say the Young Bucks aren't going to be eliminated in the first round.
True.
You're taking probably the hottest tag team in 2019.
A lot of steam out of it.
And wiping them out in the first round. Like, to me, it's a lose-lose situation. It was a very bad match to book in the first round of your tournament. I get that you're looking to pop the ratings and get the eyeballs on the product. You could have built to this match. Like, look, he didn't have to make it a finals, but this shit could have been in the semis, or something like that. I feel they blew their load on this one way too soon.
Yeah, I just think they're going. Honestly, I think the point of view is they're going for the shock factor, having private party is going to upset them. But maybe the Bucks booked themselves to win. Who not? But
I'm hearing they don't have say over that.
Oh,
I'm hearing
good.
all final booking decisions go down to Tony. Because I heard that they pitched to Tony that they wanted to lose to Lucha at Double or Nothing. Tony's like, nope.
Oh.
I hear all final decisions on matches are Tony Khan's choice, not theirs.
Yeah, and then about 30 years later, we're gonna be on this podcast bitching about old man Tony Khan, and he's senile, and the business has passed him by, right?
God, I hope not.
Also in Boston on 10-9, Jon Moxley and Shawn Spears. That'll be a fun one. The only thing announced for the 16th in Temple in Philly is the title defense.
Really, do you need to announce anything more than that, though? That's a big deal.
Yep. So far we got for All Out, Jericho and Hangman for the championship. Lucha Brothers Bucks ladder match. Omega versus Moxley. Dark Order versus Best Friends. Winner gets a bye in the tag team tournament. Cody, Shawn Spears, and then the Women's Casino Battle Royale, which has got a lot of great talent that has yet to be in AEW, such as Ivelisse from Lucha Underground, Jazz, a great veteran that was in the WWE, and Rowdy Piper's daughter, Teal. How cool is it?
Oh, can I shoot on Teal for a minute?
Go for it, man.
How fucking stupid do you have to be?
You're talking about her signing?
To have an offer with AEW on the table, and you fucking sign with WoW.
Yeah, I had that pulled up.
What type of drugs are you on?
How new
Seriously.
is she? How new is she though? Like,
I'm hearing she's very new, but at the same token, WoW's a fucking joke.
Is it? Okay.
I can't, dude. I love women's wrestling, and there's few people out there that love women's wrestling more than me. I legit have problems sitting through an episode of WoW because Dave McClane's booking, the terrible characters, and his god-awful fucking commentary makes me want to pull my hair out. He makes Vince McMahon look like a fucking genius with the way that he books his women on WWE.
Hey, pal!
The fact that Piper's kid chose to sign with WoW when she had an offer from AEW on the table blows my fucking mind. Had to get that off my chest.
All right.
WoW premieres on Access TV. Saturday, September 7th is the second season.
Can't wait to DVR it and forget to watch it.
There you go. Also announced for Philly. This was after other thing I was reading, but the Women's World Championship will be defended on October 16th when they are live from Philly. So that's going to happen. Tony Schiavone is locked into a deal with All Elite Wrestling. The WWE tried to get him, which is very interesting considering the Wednesday Night Wars are starting. That'll put butts in the seats.
I'm honestly really excited about this.
Yes.
Because, especially if he's replacing
Out Marvez.
What's his face? Yes. Yeah. If it's going to be Schiavone, Jim Ross, and Excalibur, sign me the fuck up, please.
Dude, seriously, Schiavone and JR, man, that just brings my
TBS 605 Saturday night.
Oh, baby, that brings that was what I watched that more than WWE when I was a kid. So that if those two come back together, oh boy.
And Schiavone's still got it, man.
Yes, he does.
Like, honestly, I really enjoy his MLW commentary.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I remember first time I pulled up MLW on BN Sports, and I'm like, oh, man, this is great, man. He can still do it, and that voice, man. What's this mean for MLW, though, with Tony? Because he's got a deal with them or contract them.
From my assumption, he'll be with MLW until his deal runs out, and then he'll be exclusive with AEW.
So he can
that's my understanding. Just like MJF right now.
He'll do
MJF gets to run out his deal with MLW until that's done, and then he's going to be gone too. I think that's working with everybody that has an MLW deal right now. Mm-hmm. Like AEW is like willing to work with them. Like, hey, you can run out your deal. We're not going to we're not going to be an asshole and yank you from him because they're not trying to start a war with MLW. So.
I mean,
I think it'll just be a mutual, parting when Schiavone's deal's up.
Yeah, and MLW, I mean, not necessarily developmental, but it could be a feeder system for AEW and vice versa. Some people on AEW that aren't exclusive contracts, they could probably go, make appearances every once in a while. I'm sure that could be on the table. I'm guessing. It was announced that TNT will be airing an All Elite Wrestling special on the day before All Out. Friday, August 30th at 10 Eastern. It'll be a 1-hour special. It's going to be an introduction to AEW in advance of its debut on TNT on October 2nd. And, of course, we'll heavily promote the pay-per-view the next day. So check that out. Yep. Check that out if you are not knowledgeable about AEW. Well, I mean, if you listen to this podcast, you pretty much are by now, but it'll definitely give you a good taste. It's going to give the general public a good taste that may not know as well. They're like, what's this company coming into TNT all of a sudden?
Why did you just say that like a hillbilly hick?
You know.
Oh, this company here, there. Heart.
First thing that came to mind. Today, August 20th, All Elite Wrestling announced that the semifinals of the Tag Team Championship Tournament will be held in the next TV taping, 1023 in Pittsburgh, PA. Which is also where Britt Baker got her start, and she announced on her Twitter that she is ecstatic to announce that they were coming to Pittsburgh, and she'll obviously have a match there. I do not doubt. Peterson Events Center, October 23rd is where that is. Tickets on sale this Friday, noon Eastern, if you're in that PA area. And Matt, you should you and D should just go on this AEW tour, man. Philly, Pittsburgh. You're already going to DC.
I feel like if they come through Baltimore, which I feel like they will eventually. Like, I don't know when they're going to come through Baltimore, but I feel like they're going to come to Baltimore.
Oh, eventually, yeah.
And I feel like when Baltimore finally gets that show, I feel like me and Daryl will be right there for some AEW. But I don't foresee us chasing them to Philadelphia and Pittsburgh and in all points in between. While it would be fun, I don't see us actually doing that.
Yeah.
But I'm super hyped about DC. It cost us more than we wanted thanks to Ticketmaster being a fucking whore.
Yeah.
But at least we're going. We got pretty damn good seats in my opinion. And yeah, I'm looking forward to finally getting to an AEW show, because every show I've wanted to go to, something has come up. It's been a scheduling issue or a money issue or getting all the friends on the same page issue, and it just seemed like every time there was something, that was preventing, it from happening. So the fact that it's in the backyard, there was no way we were going to let this opportunity pass us by, and we didn't. And I'm looking forward to it, man. I think it's going to be a great night. I finally get to see Kenny Omega live, my first time seeing Omega in person, and I'm fucking hyped about it, man.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Good. I found out I have an event that night, but that event it's not gonna be an all-nighter event, so I'm obviously gonna
cancel it.
Yeah. No, I can't. I got tickets, but you know what I'm gonna do?
Cancel it.
I can't do that, Vince.
You need to stay home and watch my son-in-law's programming, you son of a bitch.
What I'm gonna do is, before we leave the house, I'm gonna turn it on TNT. And just so they can get the extra rating from me.
What a nice guy.
Yeah.
Nice guy.
I think I'll be back. I'll be back like.
You should have it on USA, asshole.
Sorry, Vince. You'll be on the DVR at least.
You get to see that vanilla midget Adam Cole.
That vanilla midget. I'm sure he's probably called him that before.
So fucking short.
Oh.
Why does it look like Shawn Michaels got put in a dryer?
Boy. Yet he's more over than
honestly. Look, as much as I'm not overly thrilled about this whole 2-hour live NXT thing up against AEW, because it's kind of just, it feels petty to me.
It is petty.
But at the same token, with this programming there's really not a reason to be calling these people up to Raw and SmackDown to be ruined by Vince anymore. So if and this is a huge if Vince keeps his grubby little old man paws off of NXT and he just lets Hunter and company run this shit on Wednesday nights, it could be amazing.
My paws are good shit.
It'd absolutely be amazing. But my problem is I just don't trust Vince to be hands off of a product that's live weekly on USA. That's my worry.
And once it beats Raw and SmackDown in the ratings,
oh my God. Could you even imagine that?
Then Vince gets his grubby hands on it.
Oh God. Could you imagine? I don't foresee that out of the gate. But let's just say, let's say 6 months from now, both NXT and AEW are pulling in better numbers than Raw and SmackDown. Imagine the type of world we'd be living, because we'd be in 2020 by then. Imagine that world in 2020 where AEW and NXT head-to-head are pulling in overall higher ratings than Raw and SmackDown.
I hope it happens.
That would be insanity.
Well, and like I said, I've been asking on this podcast for 2 hours live from Full Sail every week. I'm finally getting that, so I'm happy.
My biggest worry about that is I just don't know if that roster they have right now down there is overall deep enough to run a weekly live 2-hour show.
And that's probably why they're filtering guys like Tyler Breeze.
A year ago, yeah. A year ago they could have easily. Oh, for the love of God. If anybody in WWE is listening right now, put EC3 back in NXT.
For the fucking love of God.
Seriously.
All right, hey, let me ask you a question. When do you think this decision was made to pull this trigger?
Oh, the move to USA?
Yeah. Was it
weeks ago? Weeks ago.
How after the 10-2 announcement, or before?
I think they were waiting to find out what night AEW was on. I feel if AEW would have gotten to, let's say AEW would have ended up on TBS instead of TNT, and so they could air on Tuesday nights. There's nothing in the world right now that could make me believe otherwise, that today's announcement wouldn't have been NXT is moving to Tuesday nights on the USA Network on an 8 to 10 time slot to replace SmackDown Live. Like, there's nothing you could do to tell me that wouldn't have been the same thing. I feel WWE waited to find out what day AEW show was going to be, and as soon as they found out what day it was going to be, that's when the talks with USA and FS1 started to find out where NXT was going to go.
And I like the fact that between AEW and WWE and NXT, I like the fact that we get a day off in between, and it's not like Raw and SmackDown today, where we got Raw last night, SmackDown tonight. You know, we get Tuesday off, we get Thursday off, and then, you know, we go Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So I kind of like that scheduling too as well, to space it all out. Real brief, let's talk about, since we've been off a couple weeks, SummerSlam weekend. NXT Takeover Toronto, amazing, right?
It was solid.
I thought there was only
definitely
one.
It definitely wasn't my favorite NXT event of this year. I'll tell you that much.
Of the 5 matches, I thought only one was just meh. I thought like Io and Candice was amazing. I thought, and the triple threat was amazing. The tag match was amazing, and of course Cole and Gargano was amazing. I wasn't impressed with Baszler and Mia Yim, but I thought it was very good. Still, I still give it like an A-. I thought.
I have very high standards for the NXT brand nowadays, especially with takeovers, and to me, it was just like it didn't deliver for me the feeling that I get from a normal NXT takeover.
What was there anything in particular?
I don't know. It just I think the whole we're smarter than you booking of putting the Street Profits over the air to kick off the show left a sour taste in my mouth. And I think that kind of carried on throughout the rest of the show.
Yeah, I missed on all of my predictions except for the main event. I figured. Well, and actually, no. Yeah, I figured.
No, you were calling. Oh, every other title hasn't changed hands, so Cole's got to lose.
Yeah. Well, after that, yeah. But I mean, going into it, I thought Cole was going to win. Before the show even started, I would have thought Cole was going to win. But yeah, after that, yeah.
I feel like the opener soured my mentality a bit, because to me it felt more like a Vince McMahon move than a Triple H move. When Vince does, oh, you think I'm angry at this person, or you think I'm going to do this? Well, I'm going to do this, but what I was really going to do, I'm going to do later, just so you think that I swerved you earlier on. And look, let's not even worry about talking spoilers right now. I'm just going to go right into it. They fucking put the titles on O'Reilly and Fish at the TV tapings. Mm-hmm. So why the fuck didn't you just do it on the fucking pay-per-view?
Yep.
Why?
Let me guess.
And at the same token,
let me guess on the next tapings, Roddy Strong's going to win the North American title.
I would imagine by Survivor Series, Roddy will have that North American title. So at the same token, you'd get to do this all on, TV, which I guess is fine now that you're going to be on USA. But you had to freaking fuck over Pete Dunne in the process.
Yeah.
I did not like Pete Dunne taking that pinfall.
No, and that just but that totally opens the door for Undisputed Era holding all the gold in November.
Yeah, and it gives Roddy the reason to have his rematch because he didn't get pinned. Yep. But you could have just done the smart thing and put the title on all the titles on the air on that show.
Yeah. Instead
of making us wait for what we already know is going to fucking happen.
Yeah, especially with it being already taped.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time until Roddy takes that title.
Go to SummerSlam. How great was it to see Edge come out and spear Elias?
Surprising as shit.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at
the fact that WWE really wasn't talking about that on Monday and Tuesday blew my mind.
I think they weren't talking about it.
Moment of the show.
I think they weren't talking about it because I think it was a one and done thing, and they didn't want to set expectations, or Edge probably didn't want to set
people's hopes up or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you watch it closely, look how Edge lands. He lands on his knee. I mean, he does it about as safe as you could possibly.
It was a beautifully done protected spear.
Yep.
And it was awesome. And it was a great moment. And honestly, it was a moment that they should have had on the pay-per-view instead of the kickoff show.
I know, because I didn't watch the kickoff show. I had to
so you didn't even get to see it until after the fact.
Yeah, I watched it on I watched it on Twitter once it got posted.
That sucks.
What do you think of Bliss and Cross as tag champions? I think they've worked really well together, so I think it makes sense. And I think finally it's put a little meaning into those belts.
I don't understand why you do a match like you did on Monday and not have it be for the championship.
Yeah.
Because Wrestling Booking 101, if it's a non-title match, you let the challengers win so they have a stake to claim to fight for the titles.
I kind of hate that they do that all the time, though.
But at the same token, yes, but at the same token, the women's tag team titles need to be established.
Yeah.
And they haven't been ever since WrestleMania when the Iconics held them. No offense to the Iconics, you know that I love them.
It was a great moment that they won. Yeah.
But it was a terrible run for them.
Oh yeah.
And it really killed the momentum of those titles in the process. If Cross and Bliss are facing any team, I don't give a fuck who they are in the division, and they're booked to win, every match should be for the tag team titles.
I thought Sonya
every single match.
I thought Sonya looked amazing in that match, though.
Sonya and Mandy both looked great in that match.
Mandy delivering those knees, yeah,
so good. Like seriously.
Speaking of so good, I thought Becky Lynch Natalya was pretty damn good.
I think Becky Lynch had her best on television promo of her career Monday night.
Oh, that was amazing.
On that taped promo.
Yep, that was amazing.
I really, really enjoyed that. I think she's finally starting to get more comfortable with the character. You know, like she can cut a mean-ass promo on Twitter, but sometimes it doesn't come off as well on television.
She sometimes can be a little awkward on camera with that.
Just, damn.
Yeah,
like, that was a good-ass fucking promo.
How
more of that, please.
And how great was Sasha Banks' return?
Oh, dude. The heat on that line on Monday.
Daddy joining your daddy.
Go to hell and say hi to your daddy for me. Jeez. Like,
damn.
You know that was a Paul Heyman book line.
Yeah.
Like, so fucking obvious.
Yeah.
But damn. Like, in heat, man.
And
that's fucking heat.
Am I correct that this is the first time Sasha's heel on the main roster?
Yes.
I can't believe that.
Yeah, it's long overdue.
Well, how great is heel she was on NXT?
Yeah, exactly. So
I was blown away when I read that. I was like, no, really? I had to think about that for a minute. I'm like, really?
Yeah, and she shines as a heel. She's one of the best female heels I've ever seen in the business. Like, dude, it's the same shit they did with Rude. He's one of the best heels. Mm-hmm. Of the last, in my opinion. Like, I know some people will probably debate this on me, but Rude is one of the best natural heels of the last 20 years.
I mean, look at the TNA days with Fortune.
Yeah, his run in Impact is the it factor, and Fortune, and just everything he did down there was incredible. And his glorious run in NXT was awesome. Mm-hmm. And just because Vince McMahon was obsessed with his entrance music, he brings him up and makes him a babyface. And he's been floundering ever since. Yeah. Bobby Roode is a natural heel. And they've yet to let him shine. Dude, there's another dude. Motherfucker, you ain't using Roode? Send his ass back to NXT with EC3.
Oh, yeah.
Like, stack that. Give me a reason to say that, you know what, your roster's good enough for a 2-hour show.
What you could do with Rude is bring him in as a babyface at first if he's challenging Adam Cole, but then you could I mean, I was waiting for so long for them to pull that trigger on turning on Chad Gable, and they turned them both heel. I'm like, what the fuck is Vince doing?
Yeah, that was kind of fucked up.
Speaking of floundering, did you see the tweets from Kalisto and Grand Metalik?
Oh, yeah, I hear they're counting down the days.
Yeah, 10 months, hashtag free agent, and Grand Metalik goes, me too, kinda. Amazing how they publicly do that, because I mean, hey, what else? What do they got to lose at this point? They're either going to make more money as WWE keeps them, or they're going to get out. You know?
Yeah. I really hope they do something with Rude. Because honestly, I couldn't even tell you what he is on the main roster right now. Is he a babyface? Is he a heel? I don't know, because the way that they book him, it's so fucking confusing that you don't even really know for sure, what he's supposed to be. I guess you could say he's a heel right now, but they use him so sparingly. Does it really, it doesn't really register the fact that he's one.
No, they could have really elevated Rude with just beating the fuck out of Chad Gable when they were a tag team, and that could have really set off the tone to make him a main eventer on the main roster. But I don't know. I think it still has a lot to do with their TNA boys. That's why EC3 and Rude are getting held down. I know there's AJ Styles.
I wouldn't doubt it for a second.
I know there's AJ Styles, but look at how much money he makes for the company.
But you also need to keep in mind, Styles came in off of his
Bullet Club,
his Ring of Honor New Japan run.
Yeah.
And he was years removed from Impact when he came in, whereas Rude and EC3 were both brought in fresh off of
Eric Young.
Poor Eric Young, man. What the fuck was Sanity, dude?
Dude, Sanity was so good, and I mean, at least Killian Dane and Nikki Cross have bounced back.
Alexander Wolf's in NXT UK.
It took forever for Killian Dane to bounce back.
So, honestly, everybody from Sanity has bounced back except for poor EY.
Yeah. And are you loving the Riddle feud? I'm digging it. I liked what they did at Takeover.
My main issue with it, and this is what I explained to Daryl. I think I explained it to him when we were watching Takeover together. You feel like Riddle should be next in line for Adam Cole, but he's so fucking busy with Killian Dane that who's next? Honest to God, who's next in line for Adam Cole right now?
And you can't have Killian Dane lose that feud. All this vignettes and shit. You can't have him lose to Riddle.
Yeah, to me, it's very confusing.
How close? Here's my answer to your question. How close is
Ciampa? Yeah, I don't know how close he is.
He was in Toronto.
He was in Toronto. Yes.
A lot of people are like, "Oh, the third fall is going to be a triple threat." No, but I saw that on the internet a lot, but not just because he was there. But Edge was talking about his podcast with Christian, talked about the spear, and states that it was booked last minute. And in regards to the physicality of the segment, he says there are many misconceptions about the severity of his neck. Wow. Edge says he definitely feels like he could have a match tomorrow. He'd be blown up cardio-wise, but he doesn't think the WWE would allow it. This almost sounds... Does this sound kind of Daniel Bryan-ish?
I don't think so. I don't think it's the same thing, because I don't think Edge has the same desire and love and passion for the business that Daniel Bryan had.
Yeah.
Could Edge come back and have a part-time run a la early 2000s Shawn Michaels? Maybe.
Well, he also
do I really think he wants to? Probably not.
He did also admit, he goes, all this progress is due to life without taking bumps. And
yeah, absolutely.
He says the occasional bump is not a problem, but constant physicality would not be good.
Yeah.
Let's take a break from the headlines, because I mean they were all basically NXT.
We're just bouncing all the fuck around now.
Well, we were getting all the NXT SmackDown AEW stuff out of the way. Let's go to AEW though. Road to All Out. Actually, no shit. Let's go back to we forgot to finish SummerSlam. Shit. Goldberg erasing the super shit down. That was good, wasn't it?
Loved it.
How great!
Absolutely loved it.
I love the whole Ziggler asking for more thing, and then he just gets his ass beat again. I can just crack up at that for some reason.
To me, that's all Ziggler's good for nowadays. So
is that it for Goldberg, or
no, he's not done. There's no way he's done. They rehabbed his character so they could use him again later. When, why, and for who, I don't know.
Who's left?
But I don't think he's done.
HBK.
No, we're not getting HBK and Goldberg. Will you stop?
I want HBK and Styles.
Yeah, don't we all?
God, I mean, they sure as hell are teasing HBK one more match with the whole Ziggler thing. So I'm wondering if HBK is going to have a match sometime in the next year.
I would like it, but I think if we're ever going to get that, he's going to do it for NXT.
Yeah,
like he'll legit get into ring for an NXT match to pop a rating or some shit. If they do that at all,
somebody picks a fight on it. Somebody picks a fight with him and he puts him over, kind of deal.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah.
Ricochet and AJ Styles, no words needed there. We knew that was good. Bayley and Ember Moon, meh. I mean, the build sucked, so it didn't help for my excitement with that match. What do you think of Kevin Owens beating the shit out of Shane McMahon and doing the old low blow and stunner and all that fun stuff?
I would have liked it a lot more if you'd asked me 2 weeks ago. Instead of asking me tonight, because oh my god, I just want this to be over already. Please just end this fucking feud.
Is it me? Or
it's you?
Is it me or was Trish Stratus Charlotte Flair the best match of the night?
It was my favorite match of the night for the story that it told.
So good.
I thought the match was great. And I thought the story that they told was amazing. And I was telling people weeks going into the show, I was like, all you motherfuckers think that this match isn't going to be that good. And I told everybody that asked me, I'm like, I think this match has the potential to steal the show. Because Trish wasn't coming back to let Charlotte outclass her.
No.
She was coming back to show the world that if Trish Stratus would have came into the WWE Women's Division in 2018, 2019, she could have done it in this era, and she could have held her own with the best. And she showed that with her match with Charlotte on Sunday. I absolutely loved it.
That was amazing. Kofi and Randy went into double countout, obviously, to continue that feud.
Hated that finish. Fucking hated that finish.
The Fiend is fucking awesome. The end.
The end.
It was great to see The Fiend. I love the remix version of the theme song, too. I think it's awesome. But that fucking lantern is so creepy, isn't it?
Well, they edited it out of the YouTube video, so we might not ever see that lantern again.
Did they? I thought that was a little...
It was in there at first, and then they went in and edited it out. Yeah, so we might be one and done on the hybrid Luke Harper Bray Wyatt head lantern that he was rocking at SummerSlam.
That was definitely pushing some boundaries, I thought, but
I thought it was pretty fucking dope.
I did too. I was kind of surprised that WWE and Vince said okay with it, though. And Lesnar and Rollins. I mean, when you give Lesnar when you give Lesnar time and a good opponent, Lesnar can put on a good fucking match, can't he?
When Lesnar wants to, Lesnar can have a great match.
Yeah.
It just what it comes down to is if he wants to.
So how did you feel? How did you feel coming out of SummerSlam with Seth Rollins winning the title at the end? How did you feel overall coming out of SummerSlam? Happy?
Overall, I thought it was a good show. Yeah. And to be perfectly honest with you, and this might be one of the few times I ever say this, top to bottom, I honestly enjoyed SummerSlam more than I enjoyed Takeover. So there you go. Yeah. Like you can write that down, because that's something that doesn't normally happen. But I actually did enjoy SummerSlam more than Takeover that weekend. So there you go. Heart attack on a plate.
You know, just like WrestleMania, they made all the right booking decisions for the most part. outside of the double countout maybe, or the double disqualification. But I mean, that added fuel to the fire, and I'm enjoying where this Orton and Kofi thing is going with the Revival and the New Day added. I'm actually enjoying it, so I was fine with the double countout. I was worried going into it that Orton was going to win and end Kofi's reign, which with all
I never had any worry of that. I didn't foresee that happening,
because with all this history and holding him down, it makes zero sense for Kofi to lose this feud, and so he's going to win at Clash of Champions, obviously. I wonder.
To me, it seems like they're going to drag this out and end it in Hell in a Cell in early October.
Feels like it.
I think it's like October 6th or whatever is Hell in a Cell or something like that. I feel like they're going to drag out and do that match in Hell in a Cell, and Kofi will finally get the definitive win and move on. I could see Orton winning by DQ at Clash of the Champions. Orton doing something to make Kofi snap.
Oh, another DQ win.
And Kofi and Orton wins by DQ or something like that. And then first there was a count out. That was a disqualification. We're gonna settle it in Hell in a Cell. Just something along those lines.
Because it's good shit, pal.
Damn right, it's good shit. I booked that fucker.
Road to All Out. Let's talk about episodes 5 and 6. 5. We gotta learn a little more about the best friends. They like to hug in a park.
So weird.
I kind of hope they beat the Dark Order at All Out. The Dark Order impressed me in that triple threat, but I just don't see them at the top of the division just yet. I would rather see the best friends win it All Out. What do you think?
I would like to see the best friends win too, but I feel like they're just putting so much ridiculous momentum behind the Dark Order. I feel like they're going to win. I hope I'm wrong.
Alex Marvez gave us some numbers regarding Shawn Spears and Cody Rhodes, and talking about how many times Dusty and Tully Blanchard faced one-on-one. Of course, Tully Blanchard is going to be in the corner of Shawn Spears, and is it a foregone conclusion that in Cody's corner, the one man that he's allowed to have in his corner is going to be Arn Anderson?
That's what I've been calling for.
Yeah, I like how they ran down the list. Is it Brandy? Is it MJF? Is it DDP?
It's none of them, motherfucker.
Yeah. It basic wrestling booking 101. It's going to be none of them.
Yeah.
It's going to be Arn Anderson, because that's going to fuck with Tully Blanchard, isn't it? Hangman. They showed Hangman cutting a promo at House of Glory after the Bucks and Private Party had the main event. That was a kick-ass promo by Paige there for getting us excited about all elite wrestling, wasn't it?
Paige is a hell of a promo, man. I think he's very underrated on the microphone. I don't think people give him enough credit for what he can do when he's given the opportunity to.
It's so crazy. When we started this podcast, almost 5 years ago, we started this podcast, and remember we were talking about him as being the lackey in the decade. I mean,
yeah.
Look how far he has come.
How times have changed.
It's just insane, and that was just a few years ago, and now he's probably going to be the first. I'm still not convinced on which way I'm leaning. I could see Jericho. Obviously, we all know the reasons why Paige should win the match, but I could still see Jericho being the first.
I'm honestly not going to be thrilled if Jericho wins.
I'm saying I'm not saying I agree with you. I agree with you. I'm just saying I don't know which way I lean right now.
Yeah, no, I get it. Like, there's a good argument to be made.
We'll have to lean next week
for both sides. But to me, you only get one chance.
Yeah.
To make the first impression. And if you're going to start your two, look, let's ignore Fyter Fest. Let's ignore Fight for the Fallen. And if you're going to start your two biggest events with Old Man Jericho beating both Kenny Omega and Adam Page back to back,
That's WCW.
like that's WWE booking. You know, Jericho being on your program is enough. Jericho does not need to be the world heavyweight champion to bring eyeballs on your product.
No.
It's not needed.
No.
The title makes the wrestler more often than not. That title on Adam Page will make him. He will be perceived as important to the average viewer tuning in who isn't really familiar with AEW, but hey, this guy's the champ. He must be good. You know,
Yeah, I agree with you.
Jericho he's one of those dudes that his star power alone will be enough to tune people in. Jon Moxley's star power alone will be enough to have people tune in. They don't need the title. Look, if you want to put it on Jericho or Moxley eventually, sometime in 2020, fine. But to me, the first AEW World Champion should absolutely be Adam Page.
What did you think of Kenny Omega's promo on that Road to All Out as well, where he basically is talking about his losses and how the Moxley match is his road to redemption towards being that AEW champion? I honestly do not see a world where Omega is going over on Moxley, but I don't know. What do you think?
I think Omega has to win.
Again,
this comes to the must-win situations.
And you just spelled it out just literally seconds ago. Moxley does not need to be the champion. I mean, he's had a hell of a run through Japan. He'll have a hell of a run in AEW, but yeah, he doesn't.
And look, there's nothing to be ashamed of to losing to the best bout machine.
Nope.
You know, to me, Omega needs that win back. You can't let Omega have another singles loss in a company where wins and losses are supposed to matter heading into TNT. It's just he has to win. Like, Omega has to win, Page has to win, because the Bucks aren't winning. They're not going to put the AAA titles back on the Bucks again.
No.
I mean, that doesn't make any sense with AEW television being a month away. I would have Shawn Spears beat Cody. I don't know if they're going to do that either.
Oh, I would have that too. I would have that too.
Like that, like you split up the wins and losses.
Because if
you put Page and Omega over, and you let Cody and the Bucks do the job.
Yeah, because if Shawn Spears loses, he's just a good hand, right?
Yeah.
And that's exactly the story you're trying to not tell. So, episode 6 was very short, 3 minutes. It was Brandy Rhodes talking to Shawn Spears, basically. What'd you think about that one?
It was interesting. Interesting would probably be the word I would use for that episode.
And Being the Elite, episode 166 this week. Country Roads. We'll find out at the very end why it was called Country Roads. At first, we see Nick Jackson struggling on his sidewalk. And I thought at first it was a mocking of the Tap Out commercials with Dolph Ziggler. Do you see it? Him crawling on the sidewalk?
I didn't see it until you just brought it up. Oh my. Oh my.
And he gets to a ladder and struggles to climb it and is asking for the crowd to get behind him, which is, I mean, nobody's watching, but and then brother Matt shows up and goes, "What are you doing?" "Cleaning out my gutters." What was he doing?
He said he was cleaning out his gutters.
So, was he psyching himself up for the big match? I don't know. That was funny. Oh, that's so good. So fucking good. We go to the Bucks garage where Matt just found out the news that Philly and Boston were sold out. You could just see the joy on the face of Matt Jackson there. He even mentioned, he goes, "You guys are just getting tired about all these sold out things," and he's like, "No, we're not getting tired of this news." I don't think. Would you ever get tired if you had a promotion, Matt, and every show you're putting out there sells out? Would you get tired of that?
I think they were more mentioning the fact of being tired of having to say how shocked and thankful they were that the shows were selling out more so than anything.
Yeah.
But I think people like the Young Bucks are genuinely just good, humble people, and I do think every single sellout just makes them feel so grateful and appreciative of the fan base that's standing behind them like this. And I don't think they get tired of thanking the people that have done this. I think it's good shit, pal.
I think it'd been too long since we had SCU on Being the Elite. I mean, one episode's too long, isn't it, Matt?
I do enjoy my SCU skits. Yes.
SCU's in Canada and in Ontario, and it's the worst town they've ever been in. Oh, I loved Frankie's just cutting a promo on the town. It was great. And Daniels, he couldn't even talk. He was so disgusted.
He had to get out. He tapped out. He was done.
We get Sammy and Cutler. I think we're up in Canada with the guys too. Sammy's in the dressing room and he's being all nice to Brandon Cutler. No talking behind his back. Or like, oh, is Sammy G turning a new leaf? And we'll find out later if he is. Right, Matt?
It was so obvious. Hey, JB.
Yo.
I saw your passport. I heard your passport. I didn't see it.
Yeah, you heard it, just like he heard how great the match was, right?
Oh boy.
And then Brandon Cutler is in his hotel room. He gets a knock on the door and nobody's there. Oh, it's the door to the adjacent room, and it's Sammy G. And now they're gonna work out, and now they're gonna skip down the sidewalk, and they're best friends now, aren't they? They did do a pretty cool synchronized dive into the pool, though. I'll give them that. The whole skipping. I thought maybe he did turn a new leaf at that point, until Cutler got to the airport. We all know what happened, right? Hey, we haven't got to talk about my boy Orange Cassidy signing with AEW.
Waste of money.
No! Fucking great resource. Dude, Orange Cassidy's awesome, man.
Waste of money. Waste of money.
You just like those other marks that only see what they saw it All In or whatever that, or Double or Nothing. You're just one of those marks that doesn't see the whole picture.
I'm a fucking mark. Whatever.
Dude can fucking wrestle, man. He's not all just lazy kicks. But
piece of shit.
Man, you'll come around. You always do. How great!
I come around when it's deserved.
You're gonna come around. How great was Rick Knox there counting him out as a passed out with checking the arm 3 times. I thought that was another great Rick Knox spot, wasn't it?
I don't know. It's kind of becoming a little weird at this point.
I like him. I like all these little things with Rick Knox. And
you would.
I would. I laugh. BTE mailbag was interesting. Are you guys going to make an AEW video game? And Nick's answer was yep.
Yep.
What? Just goes out and says, yep. What?
That's all you needed to say.
Hey, who's no longer involved with WWE 2K?
I'm not saying shit.
Answer that question for the fans.
I'm not saying shit.
Well, you think you're going to jinx it if you...
I already know more than I'm allowed to say.
Oh, then I'm going to say it.
There you go. Go for it. You can speak on this. I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
There's a certain developer that, made WWE games for a long time called Ukes, and they're no longer doing it anymore.
Interesting.
So I wonder if Ukes is talking with AEW.
Huh. Yeah, I would say they're beyond talking. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
But how funny was that? How he just nonchalantly goes, "Yep." No.
Next, he answered the question.
Yeah,
That's all he needed to do.
I guess. Hey, nice transition as Nick's walking down. Nice transition over to Matt to answer another mailbag question. I thought that was pretty slick. Matt was asked if what match he thought will steal the show at All Out, and I'm having a brain fart, but didn't he say Jericho and Paige? If I remember right.
Maybe.
I think it was Jericho Page.
Well, you're probably right.
He said outside of the obvious ladder match.
Their match, yeah.
Brandon Cutler and CD are at the airport getting ready to fly home, and Cutler does not have his passport. He left it at the hotel. Damn. Oh, Sammy G's still at the hotel. Maybe he could see if he can find it. And so he calls Sammy G and goes, "Hey, you see my passport?" And Sammy's like, "Oh, no, man, I don't." And the sound of the passport hitting the trash can.
Such a dick.
And Sammy laughing so hard that he basically almost fell onto the trash can.
He's a real douche.
Yeah, I can't wait for... I hope that's a buy-in match at All Out. You think we get that, or you think that's going to wait till Tuesday?
I would say that they could put that on the buy-in.
How excited are you with this women, this lineup that's getting built for the Casino Battle Royale?
I think it's going to be great. I want to know more of the women.
They added one. They added one that I don't know anything about, but all the reactions I'm seeing are like highly positive, and that's Big Swole. She got announced to the Battle Royale today. I know nothing about her, but
yeah, I'm not sure who that is either.
People are excited, so
cool.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing what she brings.
I am seriously considering an IWTV subscription. I don't know if I'm gonna. I can do a trial just to see if I like it or not. But I mean, like I've always, I'm kind of getting into it a little more. Like Beyond Wrestling always has some cool stuff and stuff. So I'm kind of tempted to. I don't know. Have you ever checked it out, Matt?
No, I've not. Nope.
All right, back to headlines. We've got some new signees into the Performance Center, headlined by 22-year-old Austin Theory, who, of course, is one of the top guys at Evolve Wrestling. He showed up at TakeOver as well, to no ovation, but people will get to learn who he is soon enough, right, Matt?
Sooner than later.
Santana Garrett, who's been in Impact Wrestling and such, who's also in the Mae Young Classic. She is going to be at the Performance Center. Those are the two headlining names. The rest of them are people that you probably have not heard of, but I've got a U.S. Army veteran and former Division I football player, a 6'6", 265-pounder who played the CFL and also indoor and arena football leagues. Guy that played semi-pro basketball in Germany. He's 24 years old, 6'5", 230. He trained under Santino Marella. Funny how Matt just did that impression like seconds ago. And here you go, a guy trained by Santino. Brianna Brandy, who Paul Jordan from PW Insider, or PW Insider said one of the most unique paths to the Performance Center. She's a hip-hop artist who toured with the likes of Soulja Boy and Jadakiss and has years of ninjutsu and extreme CrossFit training. And she's also played basketball and a competitive swimmer, so kind of an interesting background to get her towards professional wrestling. She attended a tryout in 2017. So that a whole new list of Performance Center hirees. And also they announced that Tokubitsu Ishizawa, who's known to wrestling fans as Kendo Kashin, has joined the Performance Center as a coach. Have you ever heard of Kendo Kashin?
Can't say that I have, no.
Yeah, legendary Japanese wrestler. I had never heard of him either, but hey, that sounds like some experience that the Performance Center could use. So,
No argument.
Some 2K WWE 2K20 news. How excited are you for the pre-order of The Fiend?
I mean, I'm happy that he's in the game, but I'm not absolutely thrilled that he's the pre-order bonus. It feels kind of like a cop-out.
Because they're using the popularity?
Yeah, for me, I really love pre-order bonuses of characters that aren't active on the roster.
Like a Hulk Hogan.
Yes, like a Hulk Hogan would be a perfect example. I feel putting a current member of the roster behind a pre-order wall is bullshit. And I mean, yes, I know they're going to say, "Hey, well, you can just buy the pack for $14.99." But I mean, at the same token, you're doing this purposely to fuck with people,
capitalize on the popularity.
Yeah, exactly. You're inflating your pre-orders, and I don't know. For me personally, I don't like it.
What do you think of this 2K?
I get why they're doing it, but it doesn't mean that I have to like it.
What do you think about this alternate reality 2K showcase stuff?
It could be fun. I'm willing to give it a chance. I don't know. We'll see.
Anything else you want to talk about that thought-wise in regards to so far with 2K20?
I don't feel like we know enough right now for me to really comment yet. I do think the male and female My Career modes, where you have to play as both at the same time, is a lazy ass cop out that is vintage 2K and everything that they do. Why there couldn't have been a female My Career and a male My Career is bullshit. But I guess it's better than nothing. So
I'll tell you this: I barely played 2K19. I bought it for the stuff.
If you're going from 2K15 to 2K19, 2K19 was easily 2K's best was easily 2K's best game. But now this is going to be the first game where Ukes doesn't have anything to do with, and this is all visual concepts. And my biggest worry is that this game is going to turn into multi-transaction hell, like absolute fucking hell.
V-Buck City.
And I'm just going to hate that with every fucking fiber of my being.
Yeah.
So
if I get the itch, I'm just going to put in 19. I mean, I bought it for the Flair stuff, but
look, let's face, I'm gonna fucking buy it.
Hey,
okay.
You know what?
I'm gonna fucking buy it.
I saw how much those SuperCard codes were going on eBay, so maybe I'll buy the SmackDown edition and sell the SuperCard code to pay for it.
Which is so fucking crazy, by the way.
Oh.
That look. It's season 5 content,
mm-hmm. and it's going to be outdated in 2 or 3 months.
No, not even that. We're talking 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, but
the new seasons always launch in November.
Yeah.
The game comes out on October 22nd. By the time you pro the cards, they might be talking about season 6.
And they still go for $60,
which is insanity.
Yeah.
Honestly, dude, if you're buying the game, to me this is the most worthless year for the SuperCard content, just because of the game's coming out at the end of October instead of the beginning of October.
And they haven't really given us any details on the SmackDown edition, have they?
They just the collector's content that comes with it. Like I said, there's really not a whole lot of information out there on the game itself yet, which is why I'm trying to be. I'm trying to behave myself, and withhold judgment.
I don't know. I mean, it got me into SuperCard, which I still play religiously now for the past year. That got me into playing that game again, and I'm enjoying that. But I have barely touched 2K19. So maybe I will put it in and see if I enjoy it, but I don't know, man. I don't know what it needs to bring me in like it did in the old days. And I don't know if they can do. I don't even think they can do that. The big dog, Roman Reigns, he's going to be at the WWE for years to come, but no big surprise. But he has officially signed a multi-year deal with the WWE as of last week. Straight up Steve Austin. Have you watched this on the last couple weeks?
I fucking love this show.
I do too, dude.
It's so fucking good.
Week one with Rob Riggle, comedian, former Marine. Week 2 with Saul Volcano from Practical Jokers. This is great. This is how a talk show should be, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I really enjoy it. It's funny. It's entertaining. It's everything that I want out of a show like this. So
for the ratings for a show when it's 10 appearing at 11 Eastern, 10 Central, pretty damn good ratings. The premiere got 1.21 million, and the this week's episode with Sol Volcano dropped a little bit, but still 1.07.
But at the same token, Raw dropped a bit too.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, that's a great show.
I think it's a great lead in from Raw, and I think as Raw's ratings go, so will Austin's show.
And what was interesting with Miz and Miss is like the return in July had the worst ratings of the whole series. That's rebounded back to over 1 million as well. I wonder if people just didn't realize it was back on, even though, I mean, if you watch WWE, they advertise the fuck out of it. But that got back up to 1 million. It's been at 1 million the last 2 weeks. So those are 2 quality shows, unlike Total Whatevers, right?
Yep.
Last week's edition of SmackDown Live got back over 2 million for the second straight week, rebounded to 2.16 million. It'll be interesting to see if that continues because, as Matt said, the Raw audience did go down from 2.72 million down to 2.53 million, so they lost 200,000 viewers. But hey, 2.42 million in hour 3 is still a decently strong number, isn't it?
Yeah, I certainly think so.
So they're for the most part they're maintaining. I mean, hour 2 did the best. It's not steadily declining after hour 1. It's pulling in people. So, obviously, I'm pretty happy with what they've done post Heyman and Bischoff. You agree? As a whole.
As a whole, yes. I'm less than thrilled with the last 10 minutes of SmackDown tonight. Was not a fan at all. So
that was weird.
Yeah.
That was just weird.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking. I really don't.
Deadline.com is reporting that Dave Bautista will star and produce in a new film called Trap House. Fast and the Furious creator Gary Scott Thompson is writing the script for the film. And according to Deadline, it follows an undercover DEA agent and his partner who embark in a game of cat and mouse with an audacious and surprising group of thieves, their own rebellious teenagers. Interesting. Stuber, that didn't do too well at the box office, but I don't know. It looked kind of funny. Have you seen that one yet?
I have not seen it yet. I want to. I just haven't seen it.
Hobbs and Shaw was fucking awesome, though.
Hobbs and Shaw was great.
Holy shit. It was announced last week's episode of NXT UK that Dave Mastiff will face Joe Coffey in a last man standing match at the event, adding the 4th match to the TakeOver special, which will be headlined by the champion Walter taking on Tyler Bate, the women's champion Toni Storm taking on Kaylee Ray, and the tag champions, the Grizzled Young Veterans taking on Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster, and also Gallus. And that's going to be a fun wrestling day on the 31st, isn't it, Matt?
A little bit.
Hey, Matt, WWE's hiring again, if you're interested.
I'm good.
They're looking for a senior manager for advertising analytics that'll support internal stakeholders through quantitative analytics relating to the digital advertising operations.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, that sounds like... Oh, they're also putting together a Los Angeles-based team production team for Fox. So if you're interested in being a production coordinator or a producer, hey, there you go, Matt.
I'm good, pal.
Major League Wrestling announced that Dr. Tom Pritchard has joined the company. He'll be a senior agent with the company going forward. And, of course, we all know who Dr. Tom is. I'd say that's a pretty solid hire for MLW, right, to kind of get them moving forward, don't you think?
Yeah. I can't hate it.
Some hidden gems that have returned to the hidden gems section has returned to the WWE Network with some kind of new features. Of course, with the network getting a whole revamp. What do you think of that new network revamp?
I'm not a big fan of it, to be honest. I'm having nothing but problems with it.
I hate.
So,
yeah, I've had a lot of buffering problems. I hate the fact that you can't resume what you watched.
Yeah, it's definitely not as good as what they had.
They need
in my opinion.
Yeah, they need to update that shit because, like, I had to start over and fast forward, and I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous. Of course, with the horrific shooting that happened in Dayton, Ohio, one of the heroes from that was an independent professional wrestler named by the name of Jeremy Ganger. He was he's a bouncer at a bar nearby, and he had brought a lot of people into the restaurant and barred the door, preventing the shooter from entering. He suffered injuries. Ganger suffered injuries by being hit with shrapnel, which he's yet to undergo surgery to remove. There has been a GoFundMe set up for him, $1,000 goal, and they raised almost triple that already, $2,765 to help him with his medical and other expenses. So that's a pretty cool story. Pretty cool story. Just to see people
absolutely
recognize the heroism and all that. Paige recently underwent neck surgery. She posted on Instagram following that she touched down at home after her second surgery, and she's forever thankful, thanking the team of doctors and such. And then she posed in lingerie with a neck brace, which was kind of funny, I thought.
Can't hate.
No. If anybody can make a neck brace look sexy, it's Paige. And Matt Riddle has a new T-shirt, the Stallion Battalion.
Meh.
Yeah. Netflix and WWE have wrapped up shooting of the first film that will air on the platform, called The Main Event. Story of a 10-year-old boy who's bullied but dreams of becoming a WWE superstar. Of course, this stars a whole list of superstars such as Keith Lee, Babatunde, and Miz, Sheamus, Heavy Machinery, Otis of Heavy Machinery, Beth Phoenix, Mauro Ranallo, and Kofi Kingston. Is set to be released sometime next year. This week, as we were speaking, recording, 205 Live was happening, and Angel Garza made his debut for the company. He was chosen by Drew Gulak for the Captain's Challenge, as Drew Gulak's team's taking on Oney Lorcan's team. So I don't know. I would rather have him in NXT, Matt, because he can be. I think he's a big star in the making, man.
Yeah, I'm definitely not arguing with you.
And unfortunately, 205 Live.
But I mean, they're pulling all these people from 205 Live. So I mean, you got to fill in the spot somewhere.
Yeah.
So
congratulations to The Rock. He is married
again.
August 18th in Hawaii. Finally. The Rock has written a prenup.
Oh my.
And to end headlines, let's end headlines on a gruesome note. Ronda Rousey injured her finger. Do not look it up. Do not look it up.
Yeah.
As she was filming the Fox series 911, apparently slammed the door on her own finger or something. But do not look. This is not subliminal messaging. Just don't look it up.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't recommend it.
Fucking A. That was brutal. Yeah, I mean, we covered the highlights of Raw and I mean, there were good Raw and SmackDowns this week, but we basically covered the highlights. I don't know if there's much
Yeah,
else.
we covered the highlights.
But there is a few things
we
we
don't
do
need
need
to dive deep into it.
No, there are things we need to talk about, though. What are your thoughts on Seth and Braun as tag champions now?
It was a nice surprise.
Was it too soon? Though?
I don't know. No, because I still feel like we're getting the collision course of him and Braun for the title sooner rather than later. Here's the thing.
Are they turning Braun heel with this though?
I hope not.
Oh.
They don't need to. They can easily. It could be a face versus face match. It doesn't have to be a heel versus face. Like Heyman is smart enough to know that, and I hope he doesn't fuck with it. But here's the thing. WWE Booking 101 is two people that are about to feud for the title, go for the tag team titles. A miscommunication happens. They hit each other. They cost each other the match, and then they argue and brawl with each other afterwards. The fact that they chose to make everybody believe that was the direction that they were going in and chose to go in a completely different direction was a breath of fresh air, and truthfully, I very much appreciated it.
Yeah, because they just did that not too long ago with AJ Styles and somebody, didn't they?
Probably. I don't remember off the top of my head. It's so WWE. So just the fact that they didn't do it made me happy.
Yeah. Speaking, we talked about Buddy Murphy having 2 good weeks of matches. How about Roman Reigns having 2 good? Him and Ziggler had a hell of a match on Monday too, didn't they?
Yeah, the problem with Ziggler matches.
You don't believe him. You don't believe he's going to win.
I have zero investment in anytime he's in the ring.
Crowd was
yes, he can wrestle. Yes, he's great. But it's whatever.
How great was King's reaction when the lights started to go out? Oh no, I know what's happening now. I'm getting the fuck out.
I'm out. Later, bitches.
Wowie. Again, another great segment. King of the Ring, were you happy with Samoa Joe versus Cesaro?
Best match of the tournament so far, in my opinion.
I almost thought Cesaro needed a win here.
No, Joe needed it a lot more. Okay.
What are your thoughts on potential Dominic Rey Mysterio tag team?
If this makes it, this is what Ray wants. More power to him, man.
I keep hearing things like, "Oh, his son's going to turn on him eventually too, and make Dominic a major heel."
Whatever.
Yeah, no, we're putting the cart before the horse there. I'm all for Ray going out as tag champions with his son. I'm all for that moment of when they win the titles, because you got to have that happen if you're going to pair them, right?
You don't have to have it, but I mean,
you have to have it, man. Has there ever been a father-son tag team champion in WWE? Has there really ever been a father and son? Like,
man, I don't know.
Active.
There might have. I don't want to say no and then remember it as soon as we go off the air. So I'm going to say I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Poor Sami Zayn, but what do you think of him being the mouthpiece of Shinsuke?
I think it's great. If you're not going to use him, utilize it to get somebody else over. And God knows Shinsuke could use some help with getting a push right now because the man fucking deserves it. So,
what was your reaction when Buddy Murphy got the 1-2-3?
I thought it was great, and I really feel that this was WWE's way, Daniel Bryan's way of helping a talent get over.
Yeah, and we don't really have to talk about the end of the show because what the fuck?
Please don't. I don't want to.
Rowan's daddy? What cracks me up is Daniel Bryan calling Buddy Murphy a cowardly liar because it sounds like Cowardly Lion from the Wizard of Oz. But we all know, you're in agreement with me, Matt. We all know it's Daniel Bryan. He's the mastermind behind it all, right?
That's my opinion, yeah.
Roman Reigns' face at the end of SmackDown was priceless, too. He's like, who booked this shit? Right?
It's what it felt like to me.
Oh my God! Well, that's gonna do it for this edition of Lost the Midcard. Unfortunately, Daryl had to step away, so that's why you haven't heard Daryl for the last 3/4 of the show. But hopefully, we can get him back next week. And Matt, we got to preview All Out next week, don't we?
Oh, buddy.
Predictions for All Out coming for you next week, as well as the latest happenings on WWE, AEW, NXT, all that fun stuff. Thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps, as well as Spotify. All you got to do is search for Lost in the Midcard, hit that subscribe button. That way you know it every time a new episode comes your way, typically every Wednesday. But we are going to be changing that up. We still have to discuss this, but we may be changing this up when NXT debuts on USA. We're going to be starting to record on Wednesdays for Thursday, back to our old time slot. Record Wednesday, put it out on Thursday for you so we can give you fresh reactions for AEW. And then if anything happened on NXT, we'll talk about it. We just won't see it, right, Matt? Oh, well, we may see it. Well, no, we won't see it.
Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna do it. I really don't. It's a mess.
We're gonna have to look up YouTube or Twitter clips if something major happens, and then watch them as we record or something. It's gonna be interesting. How did they do podcasts during the Monday Night Wars? Oh, it wasn't a thing, was it?
Which was not a thing, sir.
But yes, go to Facebook.com/LostTheMidcard, Twitter at LITMC Podcast. Get subscribed on YouTube, Spotify, anywhere you like to listen to your podcast. Do it. Daryl's on the Twitter at NoOneLikeD. Matt's on the Twitter at Rob Showtime. I am on the Twitter at JB Huskers. Give us all a follow. Talk to us during the shows. We'd love that. Give us your thoughts and all that. And before we ride off into the sunset, Matt, what are your final thoughts?
Wednesday Night Wars, man. It's gonna be fucking interesting.
I mean, they're going to be one-upping each other, so it's going to be... I think we're in for a ride. It's going to be a good ride. As long as VKM stays
as long as it's not the last ride.
Hello. As long as VKM stays the fuck away from black and gold, we'll be happy.
That's my hope.
For Matt Black, this is Jeremy Bennett. Thank you for tuning in to Lost the Midcard. We will catch you next week with our all-out predictions.